think we have a lot of stuff on the agenda.
Yeah, I've put 7 or 8 things on there. Um, so I'll go through it really fast.
Okay, cool.
Right. So I shifted focus to the wrong tab the other day and did a search for stuff docs, and then I found out that all these are recorded on YouTube. So um,
hmm
I'm going to make them shorter. That's what I learned from doing that. So that's the first thing. I don't remember if I put that in there. No, okay. But yeah, this is going to be shorter. Okay, so the first thing is uh, Sebastian is on leave right now from SUSE, and we're in the middle of a discussion about the Getting Started guide. If he's still on leave, like next week, he had to leave suddenly. We don't know when he'll be back. If he's not done next week, then uh, I'm going to go ahead and get you and Josh to sort of like just approve it, and then if he has quibbles, we can address those after he comes back. And maybe this will also give me time to do the dashboard component of the Getting Started guide, because right now we're up to dashboard, but I haven't taken the screenshots for dashboard stuff yet. So that's where that sits right now. Um, the Ceph.com site reorg. Sebastian and I are having a discussion about how big the button should be. Josh has also weighed in with good suggestions about putting some padding in there so the buttons aren't right up against each other. That's about it. Next
Yeah, I looked
item.
at it. I looked at it briefly.
Oh,
I have a quick question. So I think you've
yeah,
it says Octopus installation guide or something, right? Your
yeah. It needs to say
how,
Ceph installation.
yeah. I
Oh,
was
sorry.
just we should make it like version specific.
Yes. I I think Sebastian also brought up, if not exactly that point, something like that, like, hey, Octopus is a version. This needs to say Ceph, like Ceph ADM. And he also had this question about, Ceph ADM is not the only method of installation, which I
hmm
know, but the whole point is to give people this one simple, unified tool to do it. And in order to respond to him, sort of my entire job has been trying to simplify it so that there's this one simple path, and then we explain you can do it through Rook or however else you want to do it. Um, and he asked this one question, which is a simple question to ask and a hard question to answer, which is like, do we want to have like 4 versions of this? And the answer is like, no, no, we don't. But it needs to be more thoughtful than just that. So that's like, so I've got to think about that and respond to him.
Sure,
But
and
yes,
but I
go ahead.
mean, in general, what we would like to do ideally is we want to backport your PR to Octopus so that it shows up against the Octopus version of the docs as well, right?
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so
Um,
we should just probably check with as far as I know, I think everything that's in master mostly gets backported to Octopus at the moment, so you shouldn't have to like change anything. It'll just be cherry picking the same commits to Octopus.
okay.
That's all I think. But yeah, I mean, my only concern was that like let us say when Pacific comes out, it shouldn't say Octopus installation guides, or it shouldn't.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. And I have questions about that. The way that I naively think of dealing with it is sort of an SVN and not get based way of dealing with it, which is like, I'll just write the entire guide all over again, which is probably not the way that you guys want to
No,
go
you
about
don't
it.
need to. No, you don't need to. And I'm pretty sure
So,
there's a way to even not hard code the version. You can use a version string that is going to be available as well. So
yeah, yeah, that will be like
whichever
a
one. Yeah,
conditional docs. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that'll be neat to learn. We were always warned off of conditional docs, but I'm for it.
hmm
I'll ask you on our Friday meeting. I'll ask you more specific questions about it.
Sounds good.
Our Your Thursday meeting, my Friday morning meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. So last week I went back and forth with Keifu on merge commit format, and that resulted in the addition of a proper merge commit format section being added to the developer guide, which if it was copied and printed out would probably be about 2 pages. And there is still some discussion between Josh Collin and Keifu as to whether they want to use the web exposed API to find email strings for people. They're having a discussion still right now. If that's still going on next week, then I will probably ask you and Josh to back me up, and I'll just say, we're going to go ahead and merge this thing, and then we can change it later. Have this discussion after it's in the guide. So
okay. Yeah, I haven't looked at this PR closely, but I can if you want me to.
There's no point yet because they're having their discussion, and they've also they've asked Rick, I think, who is a guy who is. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's a different discussion. I'm confusing 2 things. But yeah, don't waste your time yet. Okay, so the next thing, the release notes didn't go out, and Luca Servini contacted me earlier today. So I made a pull request with the release notes, but then it turns out Abhishek already knew about that and had done it. So once I have demonstrated that I can do this Git thing correctly, I think I want to learn how you guys have the Eye of Sauron to see whenever any sort of move is made, because that way I could have saved myself a couple of hours this afternoon doing that.
I think that's. I think these are a couple of things that go with every point release we do. Things like release notes and announcements. The other thing is that we also have a releases table. I'm sure you must have noticed it, which has information about what is the latest release, or every release gets added into that table. And that's also something that comes up a lot of times because people forget to add new releases to it. So if you can keep an eye on that, and every time there's a release announcement, just go and add the new release. That'll be useful.
Another thing we'll talk about on Friday in the I'm trying to use this meeting as more like an executive level summary. And then on Friday, I'll ask you specifically, because this thing happened today, I would like to make a docs checklist for every Z stream, or I don't know if it's called Z stream in this, in this project, you know what I mean? Every point release, whatever it's called. I'd like for there to be a checklist, and I'd also I am in favor of getting as many merge commits in as possible. I'm in favor of getting as much in the documentation anyway, because it's not the code base. It's not going to break anything. It's just going to be wrong, and it can always be fixed. I would like to have because the docs can always be fixed if we can just get the workflow fast. I would like to, I'm not looking to veto anything, but I would like a list of things that have to be done before every point release goes out. And then
I'm pretty sure there was something that existed. You should check with Abhishek. Abhishek usually deals with this stuff, and he might already have something, but it's not in a place that everybody can go look at. So it might just be a matter of adding it to the doc somewhere, or also for you to be aware of.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, maybe both. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You should ping Abhishek.
I will. Let's see. Then I had a very good meeting with Brad Hubbard the other day. I was talking to him about this idea that I have for a workflow, which I don't remember I don't know if you were in the orchestrators meeting the other day when I asked this, but I will ask it again for the record here. Sometimes there are stale commits, or there are badly formed commits by people. They've tried to make an alteration to the docs and it doesn't look right, but the core idea is good. So this is I want to throw out the bathwater and keep the baby. And the workflow that I want to use is I want to add when somebody has a baby and bad bathwater type merge, a pull request, I want to add them to my origin repo as an or as a remote, and then check out that branch locally, make the alteration, credit them as the primary author and myself as a co-author, and then push it and then have it reviewed. And this is like, we'll have to work this out where like I contact whoever, like you or Josh or somebody who is qualified to vet the technical side of it. And then we just get these things like this works for two cases. One, stale things, like I've got a commit from back in February that clearly needs to be rebased, and like I'm not sure if it's even still like it's just a thing that I wasn't completely sure what I was doing at the time, but like the idea is good, but the form is bad. So for old stuff like that, and then also for people who tried to make a good commit, but then like did not reach Keifu's incredibly exact standards. I want to be able to just consume that stuff and preserve the credit for the original people, and then so that's my half of it, and then our half working together is like we figure out who I get this stuff to so that it can be approved within like 12 or 24 hours of the pull request going through. So like, and if we can get that, I don't know how long it'll take to like to work that out where it's like a thing that we just sort of expect will happen. But I want to check out remote branches to my own origin, and then I want to push them, and then I guess and then just close the other, and then like have the authority and the confidence to close the other pull request that has been made, with a link to the one that supersedes it that is newer.
Yep. So that's mostly the workflow that we follow for code changes. A lot of times it happens that there is somebody who contributes a piece of code and are not able to follow up on the requested changes, or like maybe they get busy or they get sidetracked. Right. In those cases, we do the same thing. We just like make sure that the original author gets the credit for the change, and we modify the commit, and we create PR. So I'm like open to like documenting this in a way that everybody can do this. If you must have seen, we have a stale bot for the same reason. That
yes.
If a PR gets stale, and so that's kind of the motivation.
Yeah. So that's opening. Okay, I have a document in the file system of this computer that I'm looking at right now, which has the Git workflow. I'll write some text around it and I'll add it to the dev guide somewhere. I'll go through and find a place.
There is a contributing.rst file if you see in the developer guide. Just how to deal with stale. What is the workflow for stale PRs? And just create a PR, and then we can have a discussion there. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will have different opinions, but I think the main idea should be that if a PR is stale and nobody is taking accountability for it and the change is good, whatever you mentioned, we just do that.
Yeah. Also, this isn't in the agenda, but you said this reminded me of this. When we have this install guide up, and like that first task, getting the install guide and the dev guide link and the tracker bug, or the bug tracker link on the website, when that's done, the next thing is to go through the developer guide. And the developer guide has tons of good stuff in it. It refers to itself as being last updated in March of 2016, which is definitely not true anymore, but that shows that like the whole thing needs to be gone through. And so I want to use like the old Linus Torvalds precept that all bugs are shallow with enough eyes, and I want everybody to like I want to use you and anyone at your level who has influence, not right now, but like in a month, to have like a week of looking at the dev guide. So like you look at the things that you know well, and then you send me, like I will receive, I don't care if it's emails or pull requests or whatever, and then I'll just go through and integrate the whole thing into an updated dev guide for 2020. because it's full of good stuff, but I don't know where there's holes, and I also don't know enough to know, which things, like where's the sand shifted, so anyway, that's not on the agenda, but that's the next thing. That's the next big, like, ongoing project to take the place of this installation guide project, is the thorough reworking of the dev guide. So then I removed the disk prediction section because Dirtwash, I don't know Dirtwash's actual name. I think he's in Hamburg, in Germany. He is a very vocal critic of Ceph on the IRC channel, and he is also very helpful. And so that's useful to me. I like him because he's loud, and his complaints are meaningful. And so disk prediction apparently doesn't work. We're waiting on Kefu asked some guy named Rick that I don't know if there is a substitute for it.
He's the one. He's the person behind the Profit Store stuff. So he is the right person to ask. If he doesn't respond, or like if he's also busy with other things, we can go ahead and take a call. But it's a good idea to check with him once.
Okay. Well, Kevu
I'm pretty sure Josh checked too, but I mean, it's no harm to check on GitHub as well.
Yeah, I asked Josh, then Josh got back to me like at the end of that workday, saying like, no, it's not, and now it's going through the same process on GitHub as we speak. And the last thing, which is it's a vague idea that I'll just mention now. When we're done with having the installation guide, I want to make a short video, I hope no more than 5 minutes, showing how to install Ceph. And I know that I know I was hired as a tech writer, but I would like to do some small video productions because it would be helpful to have all the steps, not just in a document, but also like recorded so that it's like a proof of concept. This thing actually works. Also, I was born in 1979, but I understand that people who are younger prefer videos to text. So that's a plan. I have another document which I will show you the next time we meet or something, where I have collected YouTube videos of introductions to various things that are similar to what I envision. Tours of the basic parts of stuff. Now, a lot of these things are physical. One's on woodworking, one's on NES Tetris. But it'll give you an idea of what I envision for it. So anyway, the future looks like this. We get the install guide done, then we go through dev guide using everybody's expertise. And then when those are done and it feels like the site is fresher and easier to serendipitously navigate, then we start doing short films that are instructional, that present the work. And if we can do these short films quickly, that would be good. Like if a short film takes no more than like a week to produce, that would be great. So, so that anyway, those are my plans for the future. That's everything on the agenda. I still took 20 minutes to get through everything. I'm sorry to posterity. I'm sorry to the version of myself that is watching this in 2022.
I don't think you need to be sorry. You have 30 minutes and you've saved people 10 minutes of their time. You just used 20, so it's good.
Okay.
You don't have to be sorry about it.
Well,
all right, this is good. I mean, I think the last one, I can see how it can be useful for people who prefer visual stuff more than like just reading. Let's talk about it more. Let's get ideas from other people. I mean, the easiest way I can think of it is like, you do the stuff and just take use Screencast or something to like record it and create a small video out of it. Also, like, things like how to create a PR, how to rebase something, those could be little things that could be useful.
As I read through the old Ceph doc stuff from before I was hired, I see that it's a lot of this stuff that is exactly the stuff that I've confronted. Like, how is this PR supposed to look in this context? Like, what is okay with what are the norms of the Ceph community? And we don't have anything like that, really. I mean, there's stuff in the dev guide, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
presented in this nice bite-sized video way. So yes, I'm
Mm.
keen on doing that. It will require, I don't know, probably many frustrating short conversations for the future.
Sure. Cool. I think that's all then. I don't have anything
Yeah.
specific to bring up.
Okay. In my head, this was 7 minutes long. So
Mm.
darn.
No worries.
But all right. Good to see you, Neha. And I will see
Cool.
you on your Thursday evening. So I'll see you tomorrow night.
Cool. All right.
All right.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.